This surveillance video shows plainclothes police officer James Frascatore taking down and arresting former tennis star James Blake. The cop is now on desk duty, but that's not enough for many people. There are growing calls for the NYPD to fire the officer. New York City Councilman Andy King is one of the people demanding that, and a short time ago, Dominic spoke with him.
Councilman, you issued a statement over the weekend where you want this police officer, member of NYPD, fired. Why?
Why? I think that it's time that we start having respect for black men and men of color in this country. And the only way that we're going to get the respect from law enforcement, as much as I appreciate the great work they do, but after watching this video, it was clearly that this officer violated whatever protocols when you're approaching the suspect, especially one that's not even violated according to whatever the crime that the individual they were looking for. So for Mr. Blake to be relaxing and standing in front of a hotel and to be taken down with no warning, with no identification, is a violation of his own civil rights just to be a citizen just standing in the city of New York.
Strong words from you, Councilman. The rights of black men to be respected?
Yes.
You feel it's that bad?
I know it is that bad. I live in a community where brothers have been killed. I live in a community where Ramali Garam was executed in his bathroom. I live in neighborhoods where I've seen brothers and sisters be offended and been disrespected. Me as a council member has been disrespected verbally by officers in the past. So I know that this is a reality that we're living with each and every day. And if we want to change the behavior of the men and women in the blue that we've asked to protect and service, then they need to respect all neighborhoods, not just neighborhoods that are not black. We need to understand that when you come in to serve and protect our neighborhoods, that you need to treat us with the same respect that you treat others. And the sad thing about this, we showed that it was I think it was just totally discriminatory, is that Brother Blake wasn't even in a so-called black neighborhood. He was in Midtown Manhattan. So right then and there, what is the thinking of this officer to think that you can just all of a sudden just go take down a brother that's standing out there, regardless of what he was allegedly supposed to, the crime he was supposed to commit? Again, there was no cry that this person was violent. There was no crime that this gentleman murdered anybody. So how do you approach somebody without even following a protocol of reaching out, getting another officer, then go stop whatever you think the perpetrator have done, question, and then proceed with whether a police action? But to go and just take somebody down like that, especially the wrong person, the only way you change behavior like this is holding police officers accountable when they violate the rights of people.
Councilman, in just the last few days, the video has been released. Let's take a look at it again. What is the part that disturbs you the most?
What disturbed me is that their own protocol that he didn't even follow. For me, if it was Brother Malik who worked in HR, we wouldn't have known about this. But for this officer to run up on Blake, grab him, slam him to the ground without identifying himself, I'm surprised, and I'm grateful for Brother Blake with the restraint he had, because if it was anybody else, you never know what kind of altercation you would have had. But then again, what are we doing? What are police officers supposed to do when they're chasing or looking for a suspect? I like to know, because I know I've been to the police academy. I've seen some of the training. I've gone through some of the training. I know there's certain techniques that you use when you try to defuse this escalating situation. This was not escalated. The gentleman was standing there just relaxing, standing in front of the hotel. So normally you would approach a suspect and have a conversation to find out if this is the person that you're looking for with backup, not just going in and just, act like you're on a football field and wrestling somebody down to the ground. I just think that what this officer did doesn't require an investigation. I think what this officer did requires to be fined, because they constantly continue to keep doing it to men of color. That's why we're having this conversation. That's why I've taken this position. That's why a number of my colleagues are outraged and angered that we can no longer sit back and watch men of color constantly get disrespected and think the only thing we can do is send them to a psychologist, send them back out there on the streets after 5, not 2, but 5 violations of complaints to this officer. I don't know how he's still on the street. I have to start questioning the psychologist who sent him back and said he was okay and fit for duty. Maybe we should look at, going back and forth, back that deep. Maybe that psychologist should be terminated for putting someone who had issues back out on the street. I give the analogy. We don't like bad teachers in our classroom. We don't like bad reporters. We don't like bad elected officials. If people can't do their jobs correctly, then you know what? Then get a new career. But you cannot be in a career that you're killing the public trust and you're hurting us at the same time. You cannot. I call on the termination of him immediately, and then from there we'll proceed.
Councilman, you mentioned terminating this officer, but there's the issue of due process, an investigation that should play out. But it sounds like you're saying, Councilman, that you want this officer fired right now.
I say fire him. Let's be real. How many people got fired, they had to come back and fight for their job? Anyone can answer that question. So every time when it comes to someone, a person of color being disrespected or offended, we talk about due process. But let us be the ones that have committed a crime, we're terminated on the spot. There's got to be some things that Commissioner Bratton and the mayor have to say, listen, this is just so egregious that we'll terminate, and then we can let unions figure out, hash it out, or HRA hash it out, or this is just something on the books. You just violated this and you got to go. You don't get a second chance to mess it up again. But this gentleman has had 5 times. He's messed it up 5 times. No, you don't get a 6. Got to go.
All right, up next on RFL, we're going to switch gears to the 2016 presidential race. First, we're going to look at the issues that people are worried about and debate which party has the winning message. We'll be the one political show on the air tonight talking about the issues. And then we'll look at the latest numbers. Donald Trump continues to surge. Hillary Clinton continues to drop. But it's the type of people bailing that might have Hillary worrying.
At Cabinets Direct USA, we offer 0% financing with no money down. That's right. Now you can get your new dream kitchen with 0% financing and no money down at Cabinets Direct USA.
You know, my Subaru takes me everywhere.
But there's only one place I got mine.
Liberty Subaru.
In Emerson.
Not only does Liberty give back to the community,
they're a Subaru eco-friendly retailer.
Liberty even earned Subaru's Stellar Care Award.
And has more 2014 top safety picks than any other brand.
That's why no matter where my Subaru takes me, I start my journey.
Our journey.
My journey.
At Liberty Subaru.
Liberty Subaru. Raise your expectations.
I've always seen No No on TV and I always wondered if it worked. And it definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No No from Radiancy. No No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference how it's almost hair-free.
And now, No No is better than ever. Introducing the No No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No No risk-free today.
Jackpot.
Jackpot! Jackpot!
Jackpot.
When you hit the community jackpot while playing online at TropicanaCasino.com, people all over New Jersey win cash too if they're online and wagering when you win. So hitting the community jackpot doesn't just make you a winner.
I won!
Makes you a hero.
Whoever you are, community jackpot winner, you just made my day.
Community jackpots give you more ways to win. Only at TropicanaCasino.com.
Experience everything you love every way you want to watch. On your TV, your computer, and your mobile device. Only HBO and Cinemax bring you addictive originals and the biggest and latest hit movies. Unlimited access to all your favorites with HBO Go and Max Go. Every episode of every season of the best of HBO and Cinemax. Everywhere you want it. Plus watch it all anytime on demand. It's all yours, free with your HBO and Cinemax subscriptions. Get 50% off HBO and Cinemax for 6 months. Go to Channel 400 to order today.
At Cabinets Direct USA, we provide a complete one-stop shopping experience, including design and installation. Visit our showrooms in Livingston, Paramus, Wayne, Toms River, and Orange.
With everybody talking about Hillary Clinton's emails and Donald Trump's latest feud or feuds, it's easy to forget about the issues in the 2016 race, but the candidates better start paying attention because voters are getting more and more concerned about domestic issues. New CNN poll shows increasing number of people saying that guns, immigration, and abortion are extremely important issues. Gun policy up 20 points in the last 4 years, immigration up 10 points. Now, it doesn't say which side of these issues those supporters are coming down on, but does anybody at the panel think that this is a mass of people, 20% more concerned about gun control as opposed to gun rights, or pro-choice as opposed to pro-life.
Can we say media-driven? I mean, come on.
How is that media-driven?
Well, look at what's been in the news lately, right?
Well, I'll give you that on the immigration.
Okay. Immigration, yes, Donald Trump especially. When abortion's not, Planned Parenthood's not in the news lately? Yes, it is, right? Gun control, absolutely. How many people have we seen lose their life because someone was killed by a handgun in this country?
So
all of those subjects have been in the media, and that is certainly what is driving.
That's not a conspiracy. That's the news.
That is the news, but that's what's driving people.
Do you think it's ramping up emotions on both sides, or do you think that this is going to be...
Oh, all sides. Actually, I think it's regardless of party.
Wait a minute. It is unsurprising, healthy, and traditional that American voters start turning to issues of concern as races develop. This is no big shock.
I'm not arguing that they're not concerns.
The economy's stupid is number one, but these other things will matter. And how the country divides in those questions is secondary to the fact that people are less concerned with how Donald Trump's hair or Carly Fiorina's looks than they are about
persona.
Where they stand.
He said he was talking about her persona.
Right.
Persona is Latin for looks.
And red and blood from your eyes.
But
absolutely.
Look, this Trump is not stupid. He's moving to the left on economic issues, and that's going to help him.
We're going to get to the candidates in the next segment, and we're going to get to the latest brouhahas or whatever the back and forth that they're going for on is. But if these are three of the key issues for voters next year, gun policy, immigration, and abortion, which party gets helped by this? Which party wants those topics on the top of voters' minds?
Who are the swing voters? Who are the undecideds? They tend to be much more moderate than the Republican Party. They tend to be independent voters, not caught by party. They tend to be pro-gun control, moderate on abortion, and uncertain on immigration. If these issues continue to dominate, swing voters will tend to the Democrats.
You agree?
Look, I think that's a good analysis, but I don't think these issues are going to be major factors, especially the gun control and the abortion. When you look at the electorate, you have 40% who are basically going to say, I'm going to vote for a Democrat no matter what. You have 40% who are basically going to say, I'm going to vote for a Republican no matter what. And you're only fighting for, as you said, that independent, that small factor, that 20%. And I think when you talk about it is the economy, ultimately at the end of the day, it's definitely probably going to be immigration. And I think gun control and abortion just fall back into the Democrat 40%, back into the Republican 40%.
The numbers are not, it's a good analysis, but it's closer to about 43%, because he agreed with me. But wait, the numbers are closer to 43% Democrat and 37% Republican. In other words, it's not an even split right now. And that's why I think these issues will play for Democrats more than they will for Republicans.
These headlines aren't going to go away anytime soon, Dominic. I mean,
which headlines?
Well, on those three issues, gun policy pops up seemingly 3 or 4 times a week after a big shooting. Immigration, Donald Trump hasn't stopped talking about it. And abortion, Republicans are threatening to shut down the government for a Planned Parenthood bill later this month. Does one party benefit if those are 3 of the main topics going forward as we get into next year?
Gun control, abortion, and immigration?
Yeah.
I would think that they would tend to tilt to the advantage for the Democrats. But I agree with the assessment that was made earlier, about 40% to begin with for Republicans, 40% for Democrats, and those swing voters in the middle. But I also have to be honest. I don't mean to throw a monkey wrench in the conversation. I don't think that issues are really driving this race. Certainly
not
as of
yet.
right now, what's driving this race is personality. And that's why the traditional candidates, he can say no all he wants to. That's why all the traditional candidates are doing so horribly. And that's why people like Donald Trump and Ben Carson are 1 and 2.
Do you think that'll stay into 2016? Do you think that'll stay? I mean, February is when we got our first primary and caucus.
I think Wednesday night is a game changer because I believe every Republican on that stage is going to expose Trump as an empty suit. I really believe that.
And again, we're gonna get into Wednesday night's debate in the next segment. But Richard, do you think voters eventually come back to those issues, or do they stay on this personality ride?
Now.
They are there now.
This is these are the you journalists, you people.
We were journalists too, huh? Richard Gross, authored by Richard Gross.
Thank you. Playing the game, the sport of politics, is more interesting on television than a debate about.
Tell me about it.
Okay. that doesn't mean that that's what people are. People think about this stuff. They care. Trump's surge would not have been because he's a charming personality, but because he's saying things about things people care about.
Richard, you mentioned that abortion in the news lately because of the Planned Parenthood stuff. Right. You know what Republicans in the House in particular are looking to do. They're talking about shutting down the government, looking to defund Planned Parenthood. Are you concerned about a possible overreach by Republicans in Washington?
Look, when Boehner was faced with shutting down the government before, he made a compromise. It's not a smart idea to shut down the government. Your party pays for it. We've seen that before.
But he might not have a choice if a lot of them on the far right are going to be pushing the same way that they did when the government shut down a couple of years ago.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen?
Not going to happen.
Wishful thinking.
Government shutdown, you think it happens?
Do I think it happens? I think he has going to go hat in hand to Democrats for votes. That's going to be fun to watch.
Do you think we get a government shutdown, Dom?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
By the way, the fiscal year starts October 1st, so.
Which is why September 30th is the.
Right. Just because people don't know, that's the federal fiscal year.
The one issue that wasn't on that list is the economy. Economy seems to be doing fairly well.
That's a list of issues that have grown in importance.
20 points in 4 years.
The economy doesn't have to grow in importance. Was there.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But the snapshot of the economy right now, unemployment rate is low. It looks like we're doing fairly well. Obama's popularity is at 49%, which is higher than it's been in a while. How much does that help Democrats next year if the economy's in good shape and the president?
Well, it depends on who that Democrat is, right? If it's Hillary Clinton, maybe it helps.
Wouldn't that help any Democrat?
It depends on who the Democrat is.
Depends on who the Republican is as well. I mean,
true. Depends on who the candidates are. Right now, you have Sanders, who's completely opposite of where it has a liberal base and is leading in Iowa and New Hampshire, and then you have Hillary. So it depends on who the candidates are. I agree.
Okay,
Republican or Democrat.
And let's talk about who those candidates are right after this. We're going to get you involved in this conversation. We want you to head to Facebook and Twitter. Sound off on our question tonight. Which issue in 2016 concerns you the most and why? Up next, we just told you about the issues. Now we're going to look at the numbers. Hillary is hurting and she's losing the people everybody thought she'd win over the easiest.